This conference will now be recorded.
All right. We are discussing the data modeling or type system. In that, if we take the product table, so code equal to product. So this is the product table code, and attributes are nothing but database columns. Attributes are nothing but database columns. And we have seen what is the meaning of persistent type equal to property, persistent type equal to dynamic. Then the next one is modifiers. Okay, next one is modifiers. Let's say in C language, we have different types of variables, right? Like what are the different types of variables in C language? Local variable, okay, global variable, static variable, register variable, like that. We have different variables. Similarly, in Java also we have different types of variables. So local we call it as what? Private. Public, global you call it as public, protected. Okay, then we have default, like that we have. So these are called modifiers. So that means these tells the scope of the variable or function. These tells the scope of the variable or function or class. Okay, or class. For example, if I make variable as private, so let's say x equal to 20. Later, can I modify to 25? Private, let's say integer x equal to 20. Later, can I modify to 25? Can I modify to 25? Answer is no. So that means this is the meaning of private. So private means once you define the, so private you can use for variables, you can use for methods, you can use for classes. Private you can use for variables, you can use for methods, you can use for classes. If I make a variable as private, we cannot modify that value later. If I make method as a private, so let's say private, okay, private ABC method. So private void ABC method. So if private method, what is not possible? What is not possible? If private method, can I override this later? Can I override this later? No, not possible. Override? No, not possible. Okay, next I can also make private class. So let's say private class name let's say ABC. If I make private is the class, is inheritance is possible? Inheritance is possible? No. Like this, based on these modifiers, we can define the scope of the variable, scope of the methods, scope of the class. Same thing we can use in the SAP Commerce. Similar things, we can use in SAP Commerce. Similar we can use in SAP Commerce. So that means whenever you are creating a column, whenever you are creating attribute, you can specify the modifiers. You can specify the modifiers. You can see. Okay, whenever you are creating the attribute, you can specify the modifiers. Okay, so the first one is what? Read equal to true. Read equal to true means what? You can able to read the value from database. So that means there is a get method. Read equal to true means there is a get method. So that means you can able to read that value from database. So get method will be there. Write equal to true means set method will be there. You can able to set the value in the database. You can able to set the value in the database. Search equal to true means you can use this in the search queries. Yesterday I shown you example in the back office and all. Similarly, initial true. So that means you need to put some value. Okay, you need to put some value, initial true. And optional false. Optional false means mandatory, right? Optional false means mandatory. Unique equal to true means what? You cannot give no duplicate values. Okay, no duplicate values. These are the different things which you can do for this particular column. So that means, so unique equal to true means this column will not allow duplicate values. Optional equal to false means this column value mandatory. Initial equal to true means you need to give some value. Search equal to true means this is available for the search query purpose. Right equal to true means you can get the value. Sorry, right equal to true means you can able to set the value in the database. Read equal to true means you can able to read the value from the database. Like this, you can specify different modifiers. Like this, you can specify different modifiers. That's it. Next, one more thing here. Can you observe this one, please? One more thing here. So there is a custom properties. There is a custom properties. The use of the custom property is, so if you go to back office, let's say I go to the product table. If you go to the back office, I go to the product table and assume that your attribute needs to come in this list. Okay, your attribute needs to come in this list. Then make it as a custom property. Okay, so custom property, so that it is available for the searching purpose, search query purpose, and so on and so on. That's it. That's about this one. Then what else we have here? You can see here, please. Anything else is new? So optional, true. These are all we just now we discussed. Okay, so these are all we discussed. Then one more thing is that, can you see this one, please? One more thing is that, can you see this one, please? You can see there is something called java.lang. So let's say this is the database column. This is the database column, and you can set the database value, that column value, default value. So that means if you are not entering the value, then the default will be 1. So let's see example here. So this is a unit, right? So let's go to the unit, system types. Let's look for the unit. Okay, let's look for the unit. Okay, so this is the unit, and execute this. It will show the records in that. Execute this, it will show the records in that. Now let me create a record here. Can you observe this one, please? Let me create a record. So let's say I am creating a record as, let's say, Chenna, and the type is, let's say, RRS. Okay, and I'm mentioning date is today's date. And say done. Once you are done, can you observe this one, please? So this is a record I created. And did I enter the value for this conversion? Did I enter the value for this conversion? No, I did not enter. So that is coming because you can see there is a default value. So therefore, if you enter the value, your value will be there. If you don't enter the value, then this default value will be there. This default value will be there. That's it. That's how you can set the default values for the attribute or for the database column. Next, this modifier, just now we covered it. Anything else new? If you see, you can ask me, because these are all same meaning. Okay, so these are all same. Okay, so you can see default value like this. You can set any default value here. So here they are setting the default value for this column is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here they are setting the default value is, okay, so this one. Here they are setting the default value is like this. You can set any default value. If you enter the value, your value. If you don't enter the value, then this value. That's it. Like this, we have different default values also you can set. The next thing is that, let me delete this, whatever I created, not required. So the next thing is that there is an index. Next thing is that there is an index. Okay, indexes. So whenever you create, so it is similar to your Oracle concept here. It is similar to your Oracle concept. So let's say in the Oracle, okay, let me ask this question. In the Oracle, you have a unique and you have a primary key. What is the difference between unique and primary key? In the Oracle, we have unique and we have a primary key. What is the difference between unique and primary key? Anyone? What is the difference between unique and primary key? Are you guys are there? Am I disconnected? Okay. So unique means no duplicate values, no duplicate or will not allow duplicate values and also will not allow null values, null value, that's it. So primary key means, sorry, will allow null value, will allow here, will allow null value. Then primary key means, yes, will not allow duplicate values and will not here allow null values, plus internally it creates, okay, index. This is important. Internally it creates index. This is important. So that's why whenever people says, oh, my performance in retrieving the data is not good, the moment you say, or the moment if someone says, oh, performance in retrieving the data is not good, people says, oh, did you create the primary keys? Did you create the primary keys? That is how people ask the question. That is how people ask the question. So that means primary keys improve the performance because the reason is internally it creates indexes. Internally it creates the indexes. So this is the difference between unique and primary keys. So therefore primary key and unique is almost same. But the main difference is when the moment you apply a primary key, then it internally creates an index for it. Because of that index, retrieving the data is very fast. Retrieving the data is very good. That's why whenever people says, oh, I am not able to retrieve retrieving the product table data is very slow. Retrieving the category table data is very slow. Then people immediately say, oh, did you apply the indexes? So once you apply the indexes or once you apply the primary keys, then the performance of the retrieving the data is very good because of these indexes. Okay, so next is, that's why in the BTech or MCA or MTech, okay, in the BTech, MCA or MTech, so in the DBMS subject, we study B trees and B plus trees. Do you guys remember? So in the DBMS subject, we study B trees and B plus trees. Why? Because the moment you apply these indexes, the data will be arranged something like this. Instead of data arranged in the sequential fashion, data will be arranged something like this. Let's say this is the 105 record. This is the 105 record. Like this, links will be created here. So let's say this is 103 record. This is 108 record. Like this, internally the links will be created between the record. It's not going to be stored in the sequential fashion. It's not going to store in the sequential fashion. I'm just putting some numbers here. So like this, internally data will be arranged. So that's why. So let's say I want to look for 108. If I want to look for 108 record, then I will visit this. Then I am able to get this data. So that means the moment you apply the primary key, internally it creates the index. Because of that index, the data is linked like this. Records are linked like this. Hence, the retrieval of the data is very fast. That's why in the BTech or MCA or MTech, in the DBMS subject, we study B trees and B plus trees because internally create the indexes. Those indexes are like a B trees and B plus trees, arranging the data. Okay, arranging the data. That's it. Next, so let's say I have a table. So let's say employee table or some other table, not a matter here. Employee table or some other table. Then I have a column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column 6, column 7, column 8, column 9. Like that I have lots of columns. Let's say column 120 or column, let's say 68 or 69, whatever you call it as. Like this I have the table with a bunch of the columns. Now can I have multiple primary keys in the same table? So let's say I created a PK1 for column 1. Okay, for column 1. Then can I create another PK for column 8? Can I have multiple PKs like this? Is that possible? So I created one primary key for column 1, another primary key for column 8. Is that possible? Yes, possible. Okay, yes, possible. Now, can I create a primary key on more than one column? Let's say column 1, column 4, column 9, like this. Can I create a primary key on more than one column? Answer is yes. This is also possible. In this case, this primary key is called what? Composite primary key. So this primary key is called composite primary key. So now you can ask two questions here. What is the question? If you see here, we can create multiple primary keys in the table, right? We can create multiple primary keys in a table. Then how many maximum primary keys we can create? How many maximum primary keys we can create? So the answer is as per the Oracle 16 here. As per the Oracle 16. But please remember this, too many primary keys. Okay, too many primary keys in same table reduce the performance. So this is one more thing. Too many primary keys in the same table reduce the performance. So that's why we should be very careful. We need to think 2-3 times before. That's why in the real time, whenever you see, you hardly see 2-3 primary keys maximum in a table. Okay, because the moment you create the primary key, it will arrange the data like this. One more primary key means it will arrange the data some more way. So that means more links will be created in the database. When more links are there, then it's difficult to retrieve the data. That's why performance will be worst. Okay, good. Next, so now I can create a primary key for multiple columns. If I create a primary key for multiple columns, that's called a composite primary key. Now you should ask one question. What is the question? So how many maximum columns I can have in a single primary key? So as per the Oracle, again it's a 16. That's it. Like this, we have different concepts in the Oracle. Same thing here also. So in SAP Commerce, we have indexes. Generally, we create the indexes for unique columns. Okay, now you can see here, please. So indexes, and this is the index name, and this is for a index you are creating for which column. Okay, super type column. Do you see super type here? Okay, do you see super type here? Like this, you will create the index for the columns. Okay, like this, you can create the index for the columns. Okay, now let's look for this one, please. INDEXES, indexes. Okay, now you can see here it is. Now tell me, is this the so I am creating a primary key. I am creating a primary key, sorry, index for more than one column. Creating the index for more than one column is called what? Composite index. Now you can see there are two columns here, item type and code lowercase. Okay, here one column. Okay, now tell me, is this the composite primary index? No. Here we are not creating the index for multiple columns. Sorry. Here we did, so in the difference between previous one and this one is what? In the previous one, we created index for multiple columns. But here we are creating one index for this column, another index for this column. separate indexes. So see this one please, that's what I told. So if you see here, I can create the primary keys like this, or I can create like this. So the one whatever I am mentioning here is like this, creating the individual indexes. Index on this column, another index on this column. Okay, so this is also two indexes, one index, two indexes, two indexes. Okay, now this one, you can observe here, this is one index for multiple columns. Like this, we can create different indexes to improve the performance. Again, there are some guidelines here. There are some guidelines. We will go through that guidelines little later. Like whenever you are creating a table, what kind of guidelines you need to follow and all. There are certain guidelines we need to follow. We'll go through that. Okay, next. So the next one is, please remember this. The next one is, so we just discussed the indexes, right? Indexes improve the performance while retrieving the data. While retrieving the data. That's correct. Now let's say if you have Hana database. If you have SAP Hana database, then indexes does not play a major role. So this point you need to remember here. So if your database is Hana, then indexes does not play a major role because Hana is having powerful indexing mechanism than this one. That means in a simplest way, if your company decided Hana is the database, then you don't need to focus much this, because Hana is having a powerful indexing mechanism which will give data in a fastest way than these indexes. So even though if you keep it not a problem, but if you have a Hana database, these indexes does not play major role. Then if you want to, for other databases, definitely these are important here. For other databases, definitely these are important. That's it. Like this, we have a bunch of the examples here. Like this, we have the bunch of the examples here. Now, we are creating the data modeling, right? Let's see what are the best practices. Okay, this is one of the nice concept here. What are the best practices we need to follow? What are the best practices we need to follow while doing the type system or data modeling? What are the best practices we need to follow? Okay, what are the best practices we need to follow while doing the data modeling? So for that, we have one nice PDF here. This is a nice PDF. Let's understand one by one. Let me bring that PDF.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So as I am telling, so whenever you are doing the data modeling, you need to follow some best practices. Now let's see what are the best practice rules. This PDF is having list of the guidelines, list of the best practice rules to follow. Okay, can you read what is the first one here? I will read the first one. What they are saying, deployment table must be defined for all items which extending generic item. So what is that meaning? So let's say you are creating an item type. Okay, item type code equal to ABC, which extends, okay, which extends generic item. Which extends generic item. If it is extending the generic item, they are telling put the deployment. They are telling put the deployment. This is one of the best practice rule you need to follow. Can you read this guideline again? The guideline is deployment table must be defined for all the item types which are extending generic item. So that means if at all you are creating a item type which extending generic item, then you need to put the deployment. This is the guideline one. So that's why let's go on to see some examples. So let's go on to see the product table here. Let's go on to see the product table. So we can see product table is extending the generic item. product table is extending the generic item. That's why there is a deployment. That's why there is a deployment. Like that, we have the best practice rule you need to follow. Next, deployment table must not be defined. Can I see this one, please? Deployment table must not be defined for any item type extending other than generic item. So that means, let's say you are writing something like this. You are creating item type. So item type code equal to, let's say Chenna. Okay, code equal to Chenna, which extends, let's say product, not generic item, which extends product. Then don't write the deployment. Don't write the deployment. So this is one more best practice rule. This is one more best practice rule. Let's observe the example. Yesterday we have seen customer, right? Let's look at the customer. Is customer extending the generic item? No. Customer extending the user. That's why you don't need to write the deployment. That's why you don't need to write the deployment. Now let's observe the user. Let's observe the user. So user extend the principal. Okay, but you can see principal, Principal. So principal extends a generic item. So that's why we are putting the deployment there itself. The advantage of keeping the deployment is what? Those columns or attributes will be created in that table only. This is one more best practice rule you need to follow. I will share this document here. I will share this document. So therefore, whenever you are doing the data modeling, you just come and verify these rules are followed or not. Okay, so the next one is deployment type codes must be after 10K. I already told. Okay, so here we are using the type codes, right? So let's go to the code user. So these are the type codes. Less than 10K SAP will use. Okay, SAP uses less than 10K values. After 10K, you can use it. We can use it. So this is what I told. After 10K, we can use it. That is what we told or we discussed. So that is what explained here. Next, Jalo classes, all these things are deprecated. You don't need to worry. So this is one more thing here. Can you see this one? Deployment table must be defined for many to many. Yesterday I covered this example. So what did I say? So this is what I told yesterday, right? So let's say for one-to-one relation, how many minimum tables? For one-to-one relation, how many minimum tables are required?
One.
Okay, very good. For one-to-many relation, how many minimum tables? Two. So for many-to-many, how many minimum tables?
Three.
Minimum tables 3. Okay, so why 3? Okay, for source for source is 1, for target is 1. As this is the many-to-many relation, you will be writing the deployment also. Deployment is another type or table. That's why total 3 are required. Yesterday we have seen this. So that is one more best practice rule is given here. Okay, so deployment table must be defined for many-to-many relations. Next. Okay, can you see this one, please? Next one. Like this, we have bunch of the rules here. You can go through this. Okay, the bunch of the rules here. You can go through this. You will understand because we already covered all these things. But let me cover a few more. After that, you can go through this. Okay, next one is what? Mandatory fields, where optional equal to false must be either initially set to true or default value. That means what they are saying is that whenever you are creating attribute, assume that you said optional false. If you are saying optional false, you need to set it as initial value equal to true or default value defined. So let's observe optional equal to false. Okay, optional equal to false. Let's observe which are having optional equal to false. Can you see this one, please? This is optional equal to false. This is optional equal to false, but this is a dynamic. Dynamic means it will not create in the database. Let's see persistent one. Okay. Now can you see this one, please? This is the persistent. Sorry. So this is the optional equal to false and persistent, and this is the boolean. Boolean means true false, right? So that's why it is okay kind of thing. And again, these are the best practices here, whether followed or not. Whether followed or not, we need to check. But you need to follow. That's the condition. Okay. Now let's look at this one, please. So this is a persistent type equal to property. That's correct. Now optional equal to false. What they are telling, when optional equal to false must be defined initial to true or default value. So optional equal to false. Now you can see initial equal to true or default. So anyway, default is not there. Even if you put both also, no problem. Even if you put both also, no problem. Like this, you need to follow the best practice rules. This is the excellent document here. Next, see this one. So in Java, so we have two objects, right? Mutable objects and immutable objects. Mutable objects example is what? Mutable object example is what? In mutable means, okay, mutable means you can modify later. Simple word, you can modify later. Immutable means you can't modify later. Okay, let's say you are the object. Are you mutable object or immutable object? Are you mutable object or immutable object? You are the object, right? I told you are the object. Are you mutable object or immutable object?
Mutable.
Mutable. Mutable or immutable, Raj?
Mutable.
Mutable, right? Yes, that's correct. Because if you are not eating for 2 days, then your height decreases, weight decreases, your color decreases, your face glow decreases, so many things. Mutable. Modify later. Immutable objects. Immutable objects means which you cannot modify later. So similarly, in Java also we have mutable objects and immutable objects. Immutable means what? Can I say whenever you are creating the attribute, modify, sorry, right equal to false. Right equal to false means immutable, right? You cannot modify later. We have seen this example. Whenever you are creating the attribute, right equal to false. Right equal to false means you cannot modify later, immutable. Okay, we have seen that examples. Okay, now let's see the rules. Immutable fields where right equal to false. Immutable means you cannot modify later. You cannot modify later means right equal to false. Immutable fields must have initial value set to true. Okay, now let's observe. So right equal to false. Right equal to false means immutable. Right equal to false means immutable. You can see. So this is right equal to false means immutable. So what is the rule? For immutable, you must have initial to set to true. Okay, you can see initial to set to true. So that means you cannot modify later. As you cannot modify later, set the value while creation. Set the value while creation. That's what the meaning. Like this, we have bunch of the things here. Like this, you have bunch of the things. You can go through this. Okay, so you should not use lower cases. Okay, whenever you are creating attribute, okay, start with the lower cases. Okay, whenever you are creating the item type, start with the capital letter. These are all the Java standards. So those are all explained here. And you can see this is one more thing here. This is a nice example to improve the performance. This is nice example to improve the performance. So what they are saying is that, let's say you are creating a relation. Okay, let's say you are creating a relation. Any side of the relation which has the many should not have order by equal to true unless it is necessary. So what does that mean? Let's go with the relation once. Okay, so let's go with the relation. So what they are saying is that you can see here cardinality is 1. You can see cardinality here many. Whenever there is a cardinality many, they are telling that don't use order by. They are telling that don't use order by. Order by equal to true. They are telling don't use order by equal to true because whenever there is a many, if you apply the order by equal to true, then performance in retrieving the data is very slow. That's why they are telling that whenever you are defining many, whether left side you are telling many, whether right side you are telling many. So try to avoid the order by. Try to avoid the order by. And that's also they have given the reason. So if you are thinking that it is must, then only use it. Otherwise, don't use it to improve the performance. Like this, we have set up the guidelines you need to follow when you are doing the data modeling. I will share this document here so that whenever you are doing the data modeling, you can go through this and verify it once you have done the data modeling. That's it. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Else, we'll start writing the code. Okay, we'll start writing the code. So writing the code we'll understand in two ways here. First way is, in the first scenario, let's create all new tables. Let's create all new tables. That's what we will see today. The second scenario is, let's see how to extend the existing tables. Tables or types. Okay, so in the second scenario, let's see how to extend existing types. So this we'll see maybe Monday. Now before I start, okay, so coding we will divide into two parts. Okay, data modeling we will divide into two parts. Okay, data modeling we will divide into two parts. One is create all the new types. Okay, that means all are new. Second scenario is how to extend the existing one. This we will see on Monday. So let's focus on today how to create new tables, how to create new columns. Before I start how to create new tables, the first scenario, let me know if you have any questions so that we can cover it. Any questions?
This conference will now be recorded.
All right. As I said, data modeling, let's divide it into two parts. One is scenario one is let's see how to create all the new types or new tables. And the second one is let's see how to extend the existing types or tables. Okay, so let's focus on the first scenario first. How to create all the new types or tables. For that, what I will do is that I will take one scenario. So this is the scenario. Okay, we'll take one scenario. So okay, so this is the scenario. Let's understand the once you understand the scenario, writing the code is easier. If you don't understand the scenario, then only you will have a number of questions. Please understand the scenario. All right. So let's come to the scenario. Okay. So before we go to the scenario, Santosh, you asked the question, recorded sessions, right? I already told recorded sessions are there in the YouTube. Did you go through the YouTube? Santosh is not there. Okay, fine. He's not there. Okay, that's okay. Now let's come to the scenario, please. The scenario is, it's something like this here. Let me go to the youtube.com. So let's say I type ChennaReddyTraining something. Okay, I'll go to one of the recorded session.
Don't lose yours when building an online store. You should.
Okay, so look at here, please. Can you please observe here? Can you please observe here? So basically, I want to create small database. Okay, so the requirement is, please understand the requirement. Create small database in bracket tables to store the recorded sessions, or to provide the recorded sessions in website. So create small database tables or small database or tables to provide the recorded sessions in the website. So that means you have the website. Please understand this. In this scenario, so you have the website. So let's say youtube.com. So you have the website. In the website, you want to provide your tutorials or videos or recordings. So that's why you can see here, first one is what? You have the website. Let me close the other one. This is not required, right? I will close this. First one is what? You have the website. That is nothing but CMS site. Okay, so that is nothing but CMS site. Then in the CMS site, so right now these are what? Videos. And if it is a text format, we call it as a blogs, right? So blogs are tutorials like that. So you can say videos or blog. Okay. So in the website, I want to keep the blogs or videos. First of all, let me ask this question. Is this video stored in the database? Is this video stored in the database table? Is this video stored in the database table? Answer is yes. Then is this title stored in the database table? Answer is yes. Then is this comments are stored in the database table? Answer is yes. So therefore, I want to create a database to store these videos, to store these titles, to store these comments, and to retrieve those. That's the scenario. Basically, I want to create a bunch of the tables. I want to create a bunch of the tables to store the comments information, to store the recorded sessions information for my website. For my website. Okay, let's understand it deeper on this. What I'm trying to say that, so this is the website, let's say youtube.com. In the website, I want to put the tutorials or videos or blogs. So therefore, I need to have a table called blog. So every blog will have name and status. Status means what? Active, inactive, like that. So that's why I'll create one table called blog. You can also call it as a videos with a name and title, name and status. Status means is that active, inactive, like that. Next, this particular video will be published or posted. This particular video is published or posted. Whenever you publish the video, whenever you post the video, it is having bunch of the information. What is the information? It is having the date. You can see it is having the date. Is it coming from database? Answer is yes. Next, it is having the author. Author means what? So let's say this is the author. Next, so it is having the title. So title means this one. Okay, title means this one. Next, it is having the content. So right now content is nothing but the video. Right now content is nothing but the video. Next, it is having the keywords. Keywords means what? You can see these are the keywords. Setup Spartacus, Spartacus installation, okay, SAP Commerce Cloud with Spartacus. These are all the different keywords. These are all coming from database. Okay, next, so this particular blog or video or post is having the statuses. What are the statuses? Let's say when I am creating, it is in the drafted status. When I publish, it is available for everyone. And I also have an option called delete. I also have an option called delete. So that's why sometime what happened, let's say I am sharing this link for you. If I deleted, you will get a message, this video is no more available. You will get the message, this video no more available. And so on, so on. So that means every blog or post or video will have status. So now, is this status are fixed values? Is this status are fixed values? Answer is yes. So that's why we will maintain this as a enum. That's why we will maintain this as a enum. That's it. Like this, I can create a table to hold this information. Like this, I can create a table to hold this information. Now let's say this video, this recorded session is published. Then people are writing the comments. To store these comments, I need to have a table. To store these comments, I need to have a table. So that's why I'm creating one more table called a comments table or post comment table. Then every comment will have author. Every comment will have author. Okay, so every comment will have content. This is the content. Okay, every author, so then it has the content. So this is the content. Then so whenever you write the comment, right, then as an administrator, I have the permissions to accept or reject your comments. So therefore, whenever you write the comment, so it will come and available in the pending queue. I can approve it, I can block it, and so on, so on. So this is how I can maintain your comments in my database. This is how I can maintain your comments in my database. So therefore, in a simple word, we are trying to create a set of database, which is nothing but set of tables. Okay, to store the recorded sessions or videos or blogs, and to store the comments. Whenever you store the blog or video or recorded session, you need a bunch of the columns. For comments also, you need the bunch of the columns. And all these are linked with the website. So this is what I want to create now. This is what I want to create now. Let me know if you are understanding the scenario. If you understand the scenario, then writing the code for this table design is very easy. Any questions in understanding the scenario?
No, Chenna.
Vishnu Priya, Sudhakar, Shruti, Santosh. Okay, Santosh, I already told you. Okay, I already told in the session, recorded sessions are available in the YouTube. You need to go to the YouTube and check. Okay. Now let's come back here, please. If this is a clear, then you need to tell what I need to do. Okay, step number one. Step number one. So, or before we start is, okay, so where can we do the data modeling? Where can we do the data modeling? Tell me in which extension? Yesterday I told, where can we do the data modeling? In which extension? Star, okay, core extension. So where star is nothing but what? So name. So which is nothing but ChennaReddyTraining. So in that extension, you have star core hyphen items.xml file. That's where you need to write it. So that's why I can go here. Let me open the star core extension. Star means ChennaReddyTraining core extension. So this is the core extension. In that resources, so there is an item.xml file. So here you can do the data modeling. Okay, now come back to our diagram. So step number one is what? Okay, tell me whenever you do the data modeling, you can do top to bottom or bottom to top. Which is the best approach? Bottom to top or top to bottom? So whenever we do the coding, we have two ways. Whenever we do the coding, we have two ways, top to bottom and bottom to top. Which is the best practice here? So bottom to top is the best practice. Bottom to top is the best practice. So that means bottom to top means what? First you create the dependencies. So in this table or in this scenario, which are the dependencies first? Can you tell me what are the dependencies? Okay, so the dependencies are nothing but, let's say I want to create a status. To create the status, I need to have this enum. To create this status, I need to have enum. Because these statuses are fixed values. Fixed values means enums. So therefore, step number 1, let's create the two enums. One is post status enum, another one is post comment status enum. So therefore, step number 1 is create two enums. Okay, step number 1 is create two enums. So then where can I create? How do I create? In this file. Then go to the design. If you don't know the place, go to the design. Just click on the enum, click on the source. It will take you to that particular place. It will take you to that particular place. Now this is a place. Now I want to create two enums. So in this enum, I want three values. In this enum, I want three values. So therefore, you can see here. So I am saying enum, okay, enum type, and you can give name and three values: drafted, published, and deleted. So this is for post. Similarly, I want to create one more thing for comment. So therefore, enum RRS comment status pending approved delete. Like this, I will write the code. So this is how we can create two enums for this particular scenario. Because this is one enum, this is one enum. So we created two enums for this scenario. All right, next. So now enums are ready. Once enums are ready, tell me what can we do next from this diagram? Tell me what can we do from this diagram? Now enums are ready. Dependencies are ready. Bottom is ready. Next, you can do anything, whatever you want. You can create a blog, you can create a post, you can create a CMS site, and so on, so on. So which one shall we do?
Post type.
Okay, so first thing is that let's see CMS site. Do I need to create a CMS site? Answer is no. I already told you site is already available. So you can see this site is already available, like YouTube. YouTube is already available. So like that site is already available. So therefore CMS site no need to create, it's already exists. Let's verify. So therefore step number 2 is CMS site. Okay, no need to create. It's already given. It's already given. So it's already given means let's verify once. That's it. So how do I verify it? You can go and search it. Code equal to CMS site. Code to CMS site. Okay. So here, okay, read equal to auto create equal to false, generate equal to false. This we discussed yesterday. So you can see. So this is where you have auto create equal to true, generate equal to true. So you can see this is the one CMS site. So which is having site URL active or not. Okay, so many fields are there. So therefore this is given for us. That's why no need to create. Okay, then that's also fine. Then the next one is what? A blog. Let's create the blog. Okay, so step number 3 is create blog type or table. Okay, so create a blog type or table. Now where do I do it? Go to the design. Go to the design. It's a type, right? So therefore select the type and click on source. It will take you to that particular place. It will take you to that particular place. Okay, now I am here. So now you can see. Can you see this one, please? Not this one. This one, right? Go to the design. Okay, select the item type, click on source. It is taking me to that place. Okay, now see this one, please. I am creating item type name, and extends generic item. I am extending generic item because the reason is I want that. Because of extending generic item, what kind of important fields we get it? What kind of important fields we will get it? Yesterday we have seen. Anyone remember? That creation time, modified time, all those things. Okay, fine. Now let's come back here. So item type code equal to RRS. You can give any name, extend generic item. Then we are doing first time. So therefore auto create equal to true, generate equal to true. Now there is a rule, right? Whenever you extend a generic item, what is the best practice rule? Whenever you extend a generic item, what is the best practice rule?
Development table.
Use the deployment. So that's why I'm writing the deployment. Then whenever you write the deployment code will be after 10K. So I am also using that. Then it is having how many attributes, how many columns? 2 columns, name and active. Okay, name. So name, you can see attribute name, type equal to string, then modifiers you can write it. Read equal to true, write equal to true, whatever you want, you can do it here. Then active. Active means what? True, false. That's why Boolean. So this is how you can go on to create the blog table or type. Now, so when I go to the database, these columns are created where? In this particular table. So that's why once you are done this coding, you can take this type and go to the back office and verify it. So go to the types. Okay, go to the types, look for that particular blog. So this is a blog and execute it. Execute it means no records. Now you can create the records in that. That means creating the record is nothing but creating a blog. So let me create it. So let's say, so the first one is what? Code. So if I say done, code is mandatory. You can see why it is mandatory. Can you observe here, please? Initial equal to true. Optional false. Optional false means mandatory. Are you getting it? See, these are all we are getting by default because of that modifiers. Are you guys are there? See power of that modifiers here.
Yes, Chenna.
I did not write any code. I just written these modifiers. Because of these modifiers, you are getting these powerful features. So as we mentioned unique equal to true, it will not allow duplicates. As you mentioned optional equal to false, it is asking compulsory. Okay, let me enter some value. So let's say this is the okay, RRS blog 1, and you can mention creation time something, let's say today. Say done. Okay, so that is done. You can see, so the blog 1 is created. Let me create one more here, RRS blog 2. I'm just creating 2 blogs. Say done. And you can see, can you see this one, please? Actually, when I created, I only have code and name. As I extended to generic item extends extensible item, localizable item like that, right? So in that you have creation time, modify time, owner and all. Those are also coming. Time of modify, time of creation, all these things. Okay. Now if I go to this, can you see this one, please? If I go to the record, can you see this one? This one. RRS blog or blog, no, blog 1 I have given, right? Where is the name? Yeah, you can see code. So you can see blog 2 I have given, and this is you can see this is having right equal to false. Right equal to false means you cannot modify later. You cannot modify later. That's why this is in the disabled status. That's why this is in the disabled status. You cannot modify later. Then active Boolean. So you can see active. So active Boolean. True, false. So default is false. Like this, you have this record get created. Like this, you have this record get created. Remaining things are all coming from that parent. So this creation time, modify time, all those things. That is how we have the blog type or table created. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Quickly. Okay. So the next one is post. Let's go with the post. So you need to pay attention with the post here. Okay, let's go with the post. Okay, so item type. Okay, code equal to triple RS post. Extends to generic item. First time I am doing, so create equal to true, auto create equal to true, generate equal to true. Then best practice rule is what? Whenever you extend generic item, write the deployment. Then one more best practice rule is whenever you write the deployment, use the type code after 10K. Okay. So the next one is, can you see this one please? Next one. So this blog and post are connected, right? This blog and post, blogs only will publish or post. So therefore that connection I want to maintain. So that's why you can see I am creating a blog, or in a simple word, I am creating a column. That column type is this table. Can you see this one please? I am creating a column called blog. The type is not normal type. The type is nothing but this one. So that means from this table, I am referring this particular item type results. Item type results. To understand this clearly, what is the meaning of this particular column? Let me show you the results of this particular thing. So let me go to the post. Can you guys pay attention? Can you guys pay attention? Let me go to the post. This is the post and execute it. So right now no records because we just created it. So let me create one record, then you will understand. Okay, author, I will just give some author. Okay, I'll just give some author. Then date, something you can give it. And say done. Can you see this one please? Say done. Like this, we created one post. Or, okay, now if you go here, in this post, there is a column called blog. Let's observe the blog. Let's observe the blog. So you can see this is the blog. Now this blog type is what? Type is triple RS blog is nothing but another type. So just now in this, how many records we created? Just now we created how many records in this? 2 records we created. Okay, 2 records created. So that's why if you click on this, those 2 records PKs are mapped here. That is the excellent advantage with this. That is the excellent advantage for this. So that is the meaning of you are creating a column and making a type equal to another type. So when you make another type, so you are getting this drop down to select it. Is that clear? So you are publishing this blog. That's what the meaning. You are publishing this blog. That's what the meaning. So you are referencing the previous type results in the current type with that column. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the column which is showing all the possible results. You can select whatever results it is and click on save. So that's what the meaning of this particular attribute or column. Good. So the next one is what? Can you come here please? That's about this one. Next we want the date. Date means it is a simple date. So that's why I am creating an attribute called date. Java.lang.date. So that's why you can see in the results date. You can see date you are getting. So this date picker, all these things are coming automatically here. We did not write any code. So as I just mentioned, type equal to this one, then the date picker is coming. Okay, that's it. That's about the date. Then which column we want next? Author. Next column is author. Tell me. So right now I am creating a post. So this kind of posts are created by who? So author means what? Who is creating? Who will create this kind of videos? Employees or customers? Employees or customers? Hmm? In the website, you are seeing this kind of videos. In the website, this kind of videos, who will create? Employee or customer?
Customer.
Customer will create this kind of videos in the website. What happened here? In the website, let's say you go to Reliance Digital website or Saberstaff website, and you are seeing some blogs or posts or videos. Who will create those? Customers, huh? Employees will create. Okay, very good. Thank you. Employees will create. So that's why I am going to say, can you see this one, please? Author, I will map to employee. Can you see this one, please? Author, I'm creating an attribute called author, and the type is employee. And the type is employee. Now, do I need to create the employee? Do I need to create the employee? No, employee is already given for us. So you can see code equal to employee. We already seen, right? So it is there in the core hyphen item directional. In the core hyphen item directional, code equal to employee. So this is already given for us. So we don't need to create again. So therefore, okay, can you come here, please? So therefore, I am trying to create a column called author, which is a employee. Which is employee. Can you see the results, please? We are trying to create something called author, which is a employee. Author. See, author. So you can see this is the employee. Now I have an option to select all the employees from this list. Now I have an option to select all the employees from this list. Is that clear? Are you guys are there?
Yes,
Okay, good. So that's about the author. Then the next one is what? Let's come to here. Title. So title means what? Let's go here. So this title. Now tell me, is this title you want only in English or in the different languages? Let's say if a French people comes, I want to show in the French. If English people comes, I want to show in English. If German, I want to show in German. Or you always show English? Title.
in localized language.
Okay, localized. Very good. Localized. So that's why when I am just covering all the possible combinations here. I'm covering all the possible combinations. That's why you can see title, localized. Title, localized. So that's why if you go to back office, title. Okay, TITLE. You can see title. So here you can mention all the values. Let's say English value is what? Okay, learn SAP Spartacus. Okay, if you want to French or Portuguese, you can write whatever Portuguese conversion it is. If you want for French, you can write whatever French value it is. So that if English people comes, it will pick the English value. If German people comes, I can take the German value and display and so on, so on, so on. So that is the purpose of this particular localized. This is the purpose of this particular localized. I did not do anything. I just make it as a localized. It's all coming. Okay, good. So now come back to our requirement. So that is done. Next, content. Content is nothing but our video, right? Content is nothing but video. Now tell me, is this video will have less characters or more characters? Content will have less characters or more characters? Content can have less characters or more characters. Okay, so it will have huge number of characters. So that's why when I am creating the content, I'm saying long string. When I'm creating the content, I'm saying long string. So that means it will allow more characters. That's about this one. So the next one is keywords. Okay, next one is keywords. Keywords means this one. Learn Spartacus, Spartacus installation, SAP Commerce Cloud with Spartacus, like that. Is it a single string or a collection of the strings? Is it a single string or a collection of the strings here?
Collection.
Collection of strings.
Collection. Very good. So that's why you can see when I am creating the keywords, I said a string collection. Now, do I need to create the string collection? No need. String collection is already given for us. You can go and see string collection is already given for us. You can see string collection is already given for us, which is of type. You can see string collection, which is of type. Okay, so element of strings. So this is what I am using. Okay, so therefore keywords. This is nothing but the keywords. That's why if you go to the database, let's look for the keywords. Keywords. You can see I can add multiple keywords. Are you guys observing the results? Okay, so let's say learn Spartacus is one of the keyword. Add it. Okay, next one more. So SAP Commerce Cloud with Spartacus is another keyword. Like this, you can keep add multiple keywords and keep it. Is that clear? Okay, so like this, you can keep the multiple keywords. So that's the purpose of this one. Then the final one is what? Status. Then the final one is status. Status is a enum. Okay, so therefore you can see I am trying to create the status which is of type enum. So where is this enum? This is defined here. With what values? These three values. With what values? These three values. Then from that, so this enum is having three values. From that I want to make one value default. To make one value default, this is the line of code we are writing. So enum get enumeration value from where? From this enum type, and which is the default value you want drafted. So because of this line of code, you can see even though I have not entered that status, default draft is available. Okay, can you observe the status?
Below.
Okay, you can see draft is available and you only have option to pick it. You only have option to pick it. You only have option to pick it. So that's the advantage of this particular enum. That's it here. So I am covering all the different combinations, whatever we discussed here. So the reason why I am taking this, if you see, first one is what? Column, which is referring another type. Next to date, author, which is a of type employee. Then title, which is localized. Content with big content. Keywords with collection of strings. Status with enums. I covered most of the scenarios. In that. Like this, you can plan the post table, which is storing all the information, whatever we need for this video. Then what is the last table? Comment table. Now you can tell the code for the comment table here. It's very easy now. Okay, so comment table. So you can see item type RRS comment, extends generic item, auto create equal true, generate equal to true. Then one of the best practice is what? Whenever it extends generic item, write the deployment. Whenever you write the deployment, what is the best practice? Use the type code after 10K. Okay, very good. In this, okay, comments means what? These things. Okay, comments means what? These things. Now can you observe this one, please? The first one is author. Author means this one. Now tell me, author is a employee or customer? Comments, who will write it? Employees will write it or customers will write it?
Customer.
Why here employees will not write? Let's say Accenture has published one video, or let's say Spartacus has published one video. Spartacus employees will not comment anything.
Both employees and customers.
Employees and customers. So therefore, author is what? Employees can write the comments. Customers also can write the comments. And I want to allow both. If I want to allow both, Can I take its parent called user? See, this is a nice concept actually. I want to allow both customers and employees. Customers and employees I want to allow means, can I take its parent called user? Author is user?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is the reason you can see here, I am creating a author column, which is of type user. So that means it will allow employees, it will allow customers. It will allow employees and customers. Let's observe once. I will take this, go to back office, types, okay, RRS comment, go here, execute it. Right now, no records, create one record. Okay, so let's say one something and say done. Okay, so this is the record. Now, what are we talking about? We are talking about author, right? Author means it's right now user. So therefore, you can see you are getting employees and customers. You are getting both. You are getting employees and customers. You are getting both here. And if you want to create more also, you can create more. That's it. That is about this one. The next one is what? Content. Next one is what? Content. Content means this one. Where is that? So this is the content. Now, do I need to localize this here? Do I need to localize this? Comment, do I need to localize?
Yes.
No, we just keep as is, right? If Raj entered in English, I'll put in English. If Raj entered some other language, so we don't need to localize. That's why it's just a string. Okay, you can see content is just a string. And do you want to allow only 255 or more? Yes, I want to allow more because some people may type 1000 characters, 2000 characters. That's why long string. Okay, that's why long string. Okay, so therefore, if you go to the database, you can see the content. Where is the content? Author, comments, content. So here you can type whatever you want. That's it. Then the last one is what? Status. Status is a fixed values. That's why enum. Okay, so therefore you can go here, status, which is a RRS comment status. What is a RRS comment status? It's a enum with 3 values. It's a enum with 3 values. And am I setting the default value? No. That's why if you go and see the results, status, you can see it is empty. You can select it whatever you want, but not giving by default. In the previous example, we have given the default value, which is drafted. In the current example, we did not give it. So you go and select it. You go and select it. Like this, you are creating the different tables with the different combinations. Different tables with different combinations. That's it. Now in this whole process, one is missing. What is missing? We have not coded one thing yet. What is that? We studied so many things, right? Now we have coded attributes, we have coded types, we have coded deployments and all, but we did not code one thing. What is that? What we did not code? Relation. Okay, so relation. So now you have a site, you have a videos. So what is the difference between site and blog? What is the relation between site and blog?
One to many.
One to many. Why, yeah? So let's say there is a movie link. Is that available in only one website, or it can be available in multiple websites? So let's take one movie link here. Let's say some movie. Is that always available in only one website, or it can be published in multiple websites? Multiple. So that means a video or post can be available in multiple sites. A site can have n number of posts, right? So now you tell me what is the relation you want. You want one to one, one to many, or many to many?
Many to many.
So many to many you can go. Okay, many to many you can go. So that means let's create the relation. Let's create the relation. How do I create the relation? You can go here, go to the design. You can go here, go to the design, and you can see there is a relation here. So you can click on this and click on source. When you click on source, it will take you to that particular place. Now you can see I am creating a relation. Can you see this one, please? Relation, relation name, and we need to have source and target. Source is what? Blog. You can give source is the blog or target is the blog here. Anyway, it is a many to many. You don't need to worry. When there is a many to many, you can keep left side is a blog or right side is a blog. You can keep right side is a post or left side is a post. Not a matter. So therefore, source is equal to blog, target is equal to site, and cardinality you can see many. So many to many. Then whenever there is a many to many relation, there is a best practice rule. What is the best practice rule? Whenever there is a many to many relation, there is a best practice rule. What is that?
No
We need to
index.
deployment. You can see there is a deployment. You can see there is a deployment here. Like this, you can create the database and create this kind of tables. That's it here. Now you can see here. Here I have given the example screenshots here. I will not share the code. The reason is I want you to see this screenshot and type it. I want you to see the screenshot and type it so that you will do the mistakes, you will learn more. If I share the code, it will execute all the times, you will not learn much. Okay, so you can see here I highlighted the file name, I highlighted the code so that you can go and write it. And you can see employee, and you can see the comment. So don't type it, this is for your information. So that means employee is given for us. Okay, so like this we have, don't type it, it is given for us. You can see user is given for us. Then relation. Then after doing all these things, okay, after doing all these things, do the build and clean all. When you do the and clean all, what is generated here?
Model file.
Model files. Okay, star model.java will be generated. Let's see whether I have it or not. So let's say example, we have created post, right? So you can see post model.java. Next, we have created post comment model.java. So because of these model files only, we can able to perform that CURD operations. That's also I told. Okay, that's also we discussed. So then do the ant clean all. After doing all these things, do the ant clean all. Then start the server. After starting the server, go to HAC and perform the update. Okay, so go to HAC. Go to HAC. And perform the update. Okay, so go to HAC and perform the update. So you can go here and perform the update. So when you perform the update, then whatever database design we have done here, whatever coding we have done here will be converted into equivalent table, and those tables you can see here. Those tables you can see here. That's it. Is that clear? Is that clear? So let's say we have done the database design. Let's say blog table. Okay, so let's say we created the blog table. So this is the database design. Like this we have done. So this database design will be converted into equivalent table when you perform the update or initialization. So you come here, perform the update. You come here, perform the update. You come to HAC and perform the update. After performing the update, then in the database, this particular type is created. This is what blog, right? RS blog. You can see RS blog got created. RS blog got created. You can see RS blog got created. So that is the meaning of initialization. That is the meaning of all these things. This is how you can create the item types or tables, or this is how you can do the data modeling. That's all for today. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask, else we'll continue on Monday.